You can now get a free SSB course under the guidance of Maj Gen Bhakuni at SSB Short Academy if you attend any of our written courses for NDA, CDS or FCAT. Attend 4 to 5 lectures daily and prepare with study material, mentor support, weekly feedback, mock tests and guidance by officers in our lush green 28-acre military campus. Call us now on 725-930-7111 for queries and registrations. Now let's get back to the video.
Good morning, everyone. So guys, you want to know all about the SD. So broadly, this topic has been told to you by the psychologist. But there seems to be some doubts still lingering on in your mind. I'm going to clarify. You'll have no doubts hereafter in self-description test. Firstly, is this a test, as some people call it? Because you are actually preparing it in advance. Most of you even may have done a practice at home. Guys, let me tell you. See, the actual tests are only 3. The TAT, the most important test. Thereafter, the WAT. Both these tests are the test of subconscious mind. And the SRT, which is the test of your conscious mind. But SD is a test. Guys, the psychologists will definitely use it. But this is one thing everybody can prepare in advance, even practice in advance, and then reproduce the same thing in the exam. Let me tell you, it is an important input for the psychologist. So there are 3 tests, but 2 important inputs are your SD, your insight about yourself, your self-description, how you understand yourself. Do you really able to perceive your strength and your weaknesses? How do you view yourself through the lenses of your parents, through the lenses of your friends, teachers or employers, whatever may be the case? Which are the areas where you have to improve upon? Let me tell you, there is some factor called trainability mark. The better and accurate insight you have about yourself, the better the psychologist will be able to understand you. He can even give you mark on your trainability, because trainability marks are there with the assessors, the interviewing officer, the psychologist, the GTO. So based on your trainability factor is evident to the psychologist by reading your SD. He can also make out based on your TAT, which is the most important test, let there be no doubt, where your personality getting projected through your hero, through your story. That's a more important test. As someone was just asking me, sir, it is because the SDA candidate passes or fails in the exam. Absolutely wrong. Even you have not that performed, though you should perform well in that this is not the only yardstick. How can SD be most important test? Most important tests remain your TAT, your WAT, your SRT. It is, I repeat again, it is an input, though it is also called a test, because it plays a crucial role where the test of your TATs, your WATs can be compared with your SD. Don't you consider even your PIQ form? It gives you so many inputs to the psychologist. See, even the interviewing officer reads your PIQ and he gets a lot of ideas. See, what is the SD conveying? It is your insight about your own personality. A very, very important input. Some guys now, the biggest mistakes you guys are doing, because you have been told, so that you are able to convince the psychologist. You use the same old key language. My friends think my reasoning ability is good. My teachers think I'm very intelligent. My affective intelligence is good. My parents think I'm a good organizer. My organizing ability is good. All nonsense, guys. Please don't do that. Can't you do your self-introspection? You will have your strength and your certain weaknesses. As you correctly asked me, you can even write your weaknesses in your SD. But how to write it? If a guy writes that he is very lazy, very short-tempered, and addicted to some bad habits like smoking, etc., obviously he is creating such a poor impression about it. But same thing if conveyed in a manner where a guy understands himself. If you know your weaknesses, certainly your trainability factor is good. You can improve upon that. You are writing, you are somewhat lazy. sometimes you do not adhere to the schedule, or you are trying to control your emotions. Nothing wrong in that, guys. At least the psychologist will get a better impression. This guy knows himself. He knows the areas where he has to improve. But if the shortcoming is so big, sometimes I lie. Lying is such a bad habit. Such kind of guys, I'm dishonest. Well, this is a big disqualification, guys. Then I can't take the risk of making you an officer. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you write like this, we don't need such kind of candidates who have such big weaknesses that they are not in a position to improve themselves, because they are, as it is, sorted out by us. I mean, listed out by us. So guys, now you should remember, self-description is your insight about yourself, where you are describing how you view yourself, how you perceive yourself, how you see yourself through the lenses of others. Your description has to be as accurate as possible, and do not have to use, as I told you, the OLQs which have been given. Use your own language and let the psychologist get a realistic picture about you. If he gets a realistic picture about you, let me tell you, he can easily make out by your personality through your test, mainly by the TET. He knows you now. Imagine he has got your PIQ. Tell me what is not there in your PIQ. Your PIQ tells the psychologist how intelligent you are. How have you done in your career? What are your achievements in life? Are you academically good or not? Are you hardworking or not? Considering your marks, a guy who's 95%, a guy who's 60%, obviously his discipline will be better. His hard work will be better. And now, if you write something about yourself which will contradict with your initial form, what PIQ form, and it is contradicting with your TAT, it means you have been dishonest to yourself. See, he has got very good inputs. So you should try to be as accurate about your description as possible. We want to see, are you realistic yourself? Do you know your shortcomings so that you can improve upon that? Do you know your strength? Because a leader also has to know his strength. So guys, it's a beautiful input, but don't ever think that just by writing a good and beautiful SD, that is the ultimate test. And as someone was saying, sir, it is the most important test. I disagree, because he has already made a broad picture of your personality by your TAT. Because he has given you those 11 pictures and a blank picture, which are from the different facets of your life. In the sense, those pictures bring out different facets of your personality. And he knows a broad picture of your personality. Now, he has this input of your PIQ form. He has this input of your SD. So, his entire assessment of personality is going to be reasonably accurate about it. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Don't hesitate to ask me any doubts on SD.
Sir, I have a doubt. In SD, shall we repeat the strength and the weakness which we have written for the parents? So shall we repeat that for the upcoming employee, friend, and thinking what I am thinking about myself?
Guys, see this. Avoid this. No repetition is required. See, your parents' domain is different. See, your parents will rarely say, they always trust their children. Your friends may say you are very trustworthy, you are a dependable person, whereas your parents will generally view yourself in a different manner. How helpful you are, whether you are helping in home activities or not, rather than the trustworthy and friendly, which your friends will bring out a different facet of your personality. Parents will bring out a different facet of your personality. A teacher will definitely view you in a different way. He may say he is participated in the extracurricular activities. He is a good sportsman. He is a disciplined. He is a punctual. If parents say he is very punctual, what does it defect? Similarly about the weaknesses. Now your teacher may say that you need to be good in certain subject, or you need to be more participative. Your parents may not say that. Parents will they will see a different angle of yours. The friends will say a different thing. So don't have to say the same thing, because the domains of teacher, friends, parents is entirely different, guys. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.